everybody and welcome to my channel. It's Catherine from Jayne Catherine on Books, and today I'm going to do a tag, and this is the extraordinary tag, and I was tagged by Rebecca, the lovely Rebecca from the Book Nester. So I'll have to keep looking at the questions just to remind myself what I'm going to say. So question 1. I would give up the internet for a month for a signed first edition of this book. Now for this I've chosen Jane Eyre. This is my copy, and actually I got this one recently from a charity shop. Beautiful cover, hardback. It's got deckled edges. And I did this at school for my O-levels many years ago, and it's just a book that stuck with me, and I'm very interested in the Brontes. They're just a really interesting family and I love their books. So yeah, I would choose that. Now, we want this to go for millions and millions. I would sell it, you see, I would sell the first edition because I know that Rebecca's spoken about this. And I gave it some thought what charities I would give this money to. And the first one is the British Red Cross. They do a lot of good work all over the world. And the second charity that I would donate the money to is Water Aid. Now, Water Aid, probably not one that first comes to mind with people, but you know, I've given a lot of thought to this recently. And we're very fortunate that we can just turn on a tap, and in fact we're quite wasteful of water. You know, we let the tap run till it's colder, and we let the tap run while we're doing this, that and the other and cleaning our teeth. And you know, if we had to walk miles and miles and miles with a jug to just go and get a small amount of water, I think we'd think twice about how wasteful we are. So yeah, that is a charity that's very dear to my heart. So I would sell it and donate that money to those charities. But yes, first edition of Jane Eyre. And the next question. I would give up pizza for a year if I was meant I could sit next to this author on a long plane ride. Yeah, I like pizza, but it'd be no great loss if I gave up eating a pizza for a year. Yeah, be easy enough to do, I think. Now, who have I chosen? Now, I've chosen the Fletchers. So, Tom Fletcher and Giovanni Fletcher. I love this family. I've just sort of got a bit of a fondness for them, really. I watch their blogs. So, for those of you that don't know, Tom Fletcher, lead singer from the band McFly. He toured as the joint band with Busted, as McBusted. And also he's the author of Christmasaurus, which is going to be made into West End musical come play, I believe, this Christmas. So that's Tom. Now Giovanna, his wife, she's also an author. She's had several books published. They've got 2 young children. They're just a lovely family. So although they're both, you know, I mean, they've got fame, I suppose, and especially, you know, Tom will have toured the world with the bands and everything. It's just that they've just got a lovely relationship. They look so happy together. They've got a lovely family, 2 little boys, and it's just lovely to watch how down to earth they are, and they're both very interesting people. So they're the ones that I would choose, because I couldn't just choose Tom, because more often than not Giovanna would be with him. They also, her Tom's sisters also, Carrie Fletcher, she also has a vlog, and she's a beautiful singer, and she's been on the West End stage and all over, and I believe she is rehearsing at the moment for the Addams Family stage adaptation. So yeah, that'd be great. So that's who I'd like to be sat next to. Next question. I would sit through 1,000 hours of commercials if it would ensure that Hollywood made this book into a movie. Oh well, don't get me started on this subject of commercials. Oh dear, what a load of rubbish most of them are. Oh dear, now that would be, I'd rather give up pizza than sit through 1,000 hours of those adverts. There's some horrendous ones over here in the UK, and sometimes I'll look at David and go, what was that about? What was that advertising? And then I've got to say it, there's the most horrendous, and I'm sorry if it's your favourite advert, but it's the most horrendous advert where I think it's an insurance company where they've got this man with this most enormous bottom that obviously is fake, and a builder that does, that's quite a large lad that does all these somersaults and stuff, obviously computer fixed. David has to turn it over, he can't bear to watch it. Yeah, but I suppose, I'd have to cope with it. Now, I'm going to say The Borrowers. Now, I know that The Borrowers has already been made into a movie. Borrowers, one of my all-time favourite children's books. I've spoken about it recently because I've reread it. But I was disappointed in the film, and it was a good film. I enjoyed it, but I want to have the film made in the UK, and that's not a problem with it being made in America. And I've got some amazing friends over there, so it's just that it's traditional English, old-fashioned, cosy type settings for The Borrowers, and so I'd like it to be remade and have that feel to it, with some English countryside, and them, when they escape the house, to move across the English countryside. So yeah, that's fine. I really did enjoy the other Borrowers that was made. But when they escaped, it was, all the backdrop of it was all in America, and I'd just like it to be a bit more traditional. Next question. I would never read a book again if I meant I could live inside this book. Right, for this I have chosen The Secret Island by Enid Blyton. I mean, this is my copy from a child. Well read, well battered. I don't know how many times I've read this. It was just like an escape into a new adventurous life for me when I was a child. I lived on this island in my mind. It's about Mike, Peggy, Nora and Jack. They go onto this deserted island because they're not being treated all that well at home, and they fish for, they get their own food by fishing, and they get wild berries, and they smuggle a cow across to the island, so they've got milk, and they take the chickens over, and it was just idyllic, and it was lovely to spend some time there, and that's what I'd choose. I would let my Google search history be made public if I was going to be best friends with this author. Now, a couple of things here that I've brought up. As you recall, if you've been watching my channel a while, we went to Rachel Joyce, the lovely lady who wrote The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry, which excellent book, 5-star read, you must get it, and The Love Song of Miss Queenie Hennessy. And she was such a lovely person, very interesting. She's written numerous plays for Radio 4, and I just really liked her. I thought she was lovely, so I've chosen her. I think it'd be lovely to get to know her a little bit more, and I really liked her. So I'd choose Rachel Joyce. And then the other one that I'm just going to give a mention, who is actually, I know this, Helen Carver, Life Begins at 50. And I know Helen. She's a friend of a friend, so I do know where she is. She's been to numerous parties and events and things like that, so we are friends, and so just want to give her book a bit of a heads up. She actually got to a point in her life where she thought, well, you know, she got some money coming to her from a divorce settlement, and what should I do with it? Shall I buy this house, or shall I go and do something that I've always wanted to do? And she sets off and does a world trip with her daughter. And Helen, she is a hilarious lady. She's full of life. She's very gregarious. I can imagine she had the whole world in hysterics. So yeah, heads up for her. And finally, I would donate everything I own to Goodwill if it meant I could date this book character in real life. So for this, I don't know if you've heard of the Montalbano. It's an Italian crime series, and it's written by Camilleri, and David and I really got into the screen adaptations. They're all in subtitles, you know, but it's, I don't know, we've just got to love the characters. So I'm going to say that I would have to date Salvo Montalbano. Oh, Salvo Montalbano. Both characters. In the first lot of books and the TV series, we have the young Montalbano, and so we've got the actor that plays him, which is, yes, very dishy. And then as the books go along and we then get the older, as he grows older, then we get the character, the older Montalbano. And he's very, how can we say, he's very keen that justice, the right thing is done. And the thing I like as well is that he's got some humility with him. You can see there's times where he thinks, you know what, I'm going to dust this under the carpet a little bit, because it's, in the scheme of things, it's not a major thing. And also the actor, Luca Zingaretti, is it? Zingaretti. See, it's a good job I've got my prompt there. He's got a better memory than me, as David. Yeah, I was saying he was about my age, but apparently, according to David, he's a lot younger. So I'd do with a toy boy. Both of them would be toy boys then, wouldn't they? So I could have them go on a date with both of them. That's it, not just one. They're both playing the same character from the books. So yes, I'll see them both. But yeah, the books, I found that I want to now read the books more. When I first started reading the books, everything didn't quite click into place. But then once having really got into the TV adaptations, although it's subtitled, you really get into the spirit of it. And some of the characters, I mean, there's some hilarious characters in there as well. And so now I think I'll get a lot more out of the books. So yeah, there we go. They're the ones that, that I'm going to date, the young and the old Montalbano. So give those a try. So yes, that's the end of this book nest. This extraordinary tag from Rebecca from the book Nester. So tagging forward, I would like to tag Kerry Ann from Woman vs Books. I'd like to tag Kate from Kate Howe. I'd like to tag Victoria from Eve's Alexandria. And anybody else, you know, I've got loads of lovely booktube friends, but they're just, oh yes, and I know who I haven't tagged for a long while, lovely Louise from Big Haired Bookworm. So yeah, have a go at those. I'll put the questions down below. And thank you, Rebecca, for tagging me. I hope you've all enjoyed this, and yeah, like to see who you're going to go on a date with. But you can't have the Montalbanos because they're mine. Anyway, see you again next time. Thanks for joining me. Bye.